Hi, everybody. Big Steve here, and it's time for Gig Stories with the Gentle Giant. And today's guest is Mr. Joe Feingold.
Hello, hello. Nice to see you, brother.
It's great to see you, man. I am so honored that you came here to be a part of this and kick off this new channel with me.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I'll pay you later.
Okay. No, I have been. Me and Joe met about 26 years ago already.
Wow, you're old.
Yeah, this is a true story. And it was at Crumstown Spring Breakout, I believe it was.
Yes, spring break.
And I was playing in a band called Probable Cause, and Joe was playing in a group called Forever Gypsy. And that's when we first met, and been a big fan ever since. And so, like I said, it's a pleasure to have him on here and let everybody else know why
Thank you for that.
I feel the way I do about this very talented musician here.
Gonna cry.
So, anyways, tell us how it all started? At what age, when you started picking up the guitar, and what caused all this to begin?
Well, I have pictures at 1 years old. 1 year old, sorry. But officially, I started taking lessons when I was 12 at a place called Mendoza's. And they were primarily classical.
Very cool.
So that's what I started off taking lessons from. And my instructor was Dean Watts, who I love dearly. He just passed a couple years ago. He was a huge inspiration for me. So, yeah. But that's where it really started.
And then you got in your first band at
14.
14 years old.
Yeah. So I would sit around playing. And then one day, my brother's friend Brian, who let me use his Les Paul Standard and a Lab Series.
He liked you.
He goes, I'm what?
He liked you a lot to let you use his
No,
Les Paul.
no, he did. He was really cool, man. Brian Campbell. It goes back before this, though. There's a dear brother of ours. His name's Leon Eck. We knew him. I knew him before this. But we all, Leon, Matt, these are all who was in Forever Gypsy, and Jerry Jokum, we all went to see Aerosmith in like January 11th, 1985 at the Holiday Star, back in the Saddle Tour.
Wow.
Fast forward 2 months, St. Patrick's Day, Brian kept, you got to go over there and jam with these guys. You know, these guys are 8 years older than me. Kind of intimidated, you know. But he's like, I'm going to bring you over there. So St. Patty's Day, I went over there. And that's where the nucleus of, Forever Gypsy started.
So that was your first band, was Forever Gypsy?
Yes, it was. And just kind of funny, this is what started it all. So he goes, man, play that lick you always play. And it was that silly. But that's what started it all. 2 years ago? 41 years? Whatever.
And that's what opened the doors.
That's what opened the doors.
So then you go on to play with Forever Gypsy, and get some doors opened up for you. I know throughout the years, getting to open up for some pretty big name people.
Yeah, with Gypsy over the years.
I mean, like Probable Cause. I mean,
Yes. Certainly, my brother.
just joking.
Well, Forever Gypsy, you know, what it did, I never really wanted to play covers. When we were playing in the basement, we would do like Aerosmith, obscure Aerosmith covers, you know, things that we loved. I would try to sing them, or Matt would try to sing them, or my dear brother who plays drums.
Yeah.
So we did that for a long time. Joe Satriani, bam, Hordes of Locusts, our own little version of that came out in, 86 off that first album. So by the time the late 80s hit, Matt left to go to Nashville with a band called Crowhaven.
I remember them.
I don't know, things didn't transpire. After a while, he came back after I got out of high school, started back up where we left off. And that's really where, like, Forever Gypsy came from, which, by the way, I should mention my dear brother Doug and myself really came up with the Forever Gypsy name. So
That's cool.
but it really came from 85 is the nucleus of that. anyway, so we're always playing our own music, from even back then in the 80s. And we did cover shows where we would do the originals, and then I'd have the singer Mark, who passed away, Mark Hurdle. He would come and do the cover songs. And one day in about 96, this fella named Kelly saw us playing at a show somewhere. And he loved the originals, and he wanted to sign us because he had a publishing deal with his Ebony Records, which was his grandma's publishing out of Mishawaka. Anyway, long story short, he signed us, and we did our first album where I sang all of it, actually. And then we got a tape from Tony Long, who became Forever Gypsy singer. And he wound up doing half the album, re-recording the vocals, except for one song I wrote, All I Ever Wanted, while he was already with us when he had joined. We hurried up and got that put on the album. And, that was 98 when it came out. So,
Wow. And then I would meet you a couple years later.
yes.
That's why I was joking about opening up. That was the funny part. So when I first met Joe, I was in this band called Probable Cause, and like I was saying, it was that day. Duke Tomato was the headliner for this spring breakout thing they had going on, and that's when I met him. And he was playing Randy Rhoads, and of course Randy being a big influence on both of us. I was just like, oh yeah, this is amazing, and what an amazing day that was.
The most amazing thing I remember of that day was meeting you. Just saying.
Okay, I'll pay you later on for saying that. Thank you.
No, it's true.
I appreciate it. But after that time, you started another project because you've had one going on for quite a while now too.
Well, in 2001, I joined these guys, Chris and Aaron, and we did the Dorks with Glasses CD, and that was 2001. But I was still in Forever Gypsy.
Right.
It's always my main thing. And then put that out, and I do sporadic shows with them. And then in 2009, Clint Pago got a hold of me, wanted me to lay down some guitar on a project he was just recording, who was my bass player to this day. And so I don't remember if I did that or what have you. Anyway, the guitar player that they had booked for a show couldn't do it, or I don't remember the situation. So I literally just came and did the show with him and improv'd over all the songs. That's how it really started. So then I decided, well, I might as well start. I'll do this because it's kind of fun. I don't have to deal with a lead singer.
So what's the name of this project?
Dark Trilogy.
Dark Trilogy.
This is where this, sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
That's where the Dark Trilogy came from. So we started jamming, man, and it became a thing for a while. And I do my Forever Gypsy normal, and then we just do this kind of as a sporadic thing whenever. And here we are 17 years later, and it's actually my main gig.
Wow, very cool. Now, how many CDs or how many recordings have you guys done so far?
EPs included, I don't know, there's probably 7 to 10. I don't know.
Wow, that's cool.
Maybe somewhere around there. I could be completely off. And we just released a new single Friday, which is called Chasing the Terror, which is a revamp of a song that we had before, or instrumental, that just came out. So you can check that out if you would.
know what's cool with songs like that? Take on Broken by Pantera. How that riff was like something that they used to work on as a warm-up riff that turned into a song, which a lot of people, if you're not a musician, this is where a lot of songs are born.
It's kind of funny you say that because this particular, and there's one other one I have on another album of the Dark Trilogy, actually originated from when I was about 16. The riff, the one main riff that's in there. And then we recorded it, I don't know, some years ago, over a decade ago. But then got together with somebody else dear to me, which is Trey Gray. He don't want me name dropping, so I will. He's the drummer for Brooks and Dunn, and he's also the drummer. You know, he's played with Faith Hill and Jewel, you know, and Reba McEntire, but he's currently still tours with Brooks and Dunn.
And you know what? I'm not going to name drop him either, but he's a great guy. And
well, anyway,
I may or may have not met him, but he is a great guy.
Anyway, he's my dear brother, and he's recording these last two, the newest one that isn't out yet, hopefully soon. But he recorded this one we just dropped Friday, and really proud of it. It's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm proud of him. And he also had another fella that's from the area that also, his name's, they call him Juice. His name's Mike Kyle, but we appreciate that they both took their time to do this. So, yeah.
Oh, very really cool. Look forward to hearing that for sure. You know, throughout the years of your playing, though, you've had the opportunity to meet some pretty cool people.
Yeah, you.
I told you I'll pay you later. You don't get paid extra for saying it. But, no, seriously, throughout the years, I know you've had the opportunity to meet, which was really cool to me. There was a thing called Guitar Method back in the day, and one of the people that used to teach on that is a guy not only that you got to meet but got to play with.
Yeah, many times. Yeah, Michelangelo Badio.
Yeah.
Bring up a very special guest, Joe Feingold on guitar. Are you ready, bro? Come on, Joe.
That's right.
My brother actually ordered me that instructional video many years ago, so it's cool how it kind of came full circle.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so,
and then to have that opportunity to not only grow up practice into something like that, but to meet him and then to be able to jam on stage.
Speed kills, by the way. That's what it is. Speed kills.
You know,
just so you know, that's what it was called.
That's pretty. If you watch the video, you understand why you see the playing. You'll understand why this guy is just incredible.
Interestingly enough, he's actually left-handed.
Really?
But you know, he plays all ways. He
Right.
plays this way. He plays over the neck.
Ambidextrous.
He is, but he's actually left-handed, which I did not know until the day that he asked if I wanted to play with him the next night in Fort Wayne. When he had asked me that, I just said, "Hey, I always wanted to ask you. I mean," he goes, "I don't know if you know this, but I'm left-handed." I didn't up until that point know he was left-handed.
Wow.
Doesn't matter. He played better than everybody any which way. Probably was his feet too. I don't know. Anyway.
Probably. So who are some of the other guitar players that you've met that
Well, who I've met.
really inspired? Well, I'd say really inspired by that you've got the opportunity to meet.
Well, I'm inspired by a lot of people that I meet. I'm inspired by my students, you know, even if they're not like, you know, accomplished, you know, they teach you something. So it all depends. But as far as people that you're talking, I believe, like that are famous or were famous. Of course, Michael, I think my greatest hour of meeting somebody would probably be Steve Vai.
Wow.
I'll tell you that story in a minute, but there's some other people that were just like sweethearts, like Rudy Sarzo,
Very cool.
Billy Sheehan, who we've got to back up a couple times in different projects, and of course a band that I love that I got to finally back up, King's X,
Oh, wow.
who I've met many a times, but we finally got to back them up, which is amazing for me. And there's a lot. I mean, Jakey Lee, he was so cool. You know, got to hang out with him in the day and then before the show and hotbox my cigarette. But there's a lot of people I played with, you know, with Slaughter and Ted Nugent and Tony McAlpine, Yuli Roth. I mean, there's a lot. Now I'm just name dropping. But we have, you know, we've been
Right.
blessed to play with.
Absolutely.
There's more than that. Jason Bonham.
Very cool.
Yeah, Joe Stump, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
A bunch of people. Anyway, I'll stop there because now it's just like, hey, look at me. Nobody cares. but it was fun for us. And
No, this is gig stories, though.
I
And
know.
this is what's beautiful about over the years, the different people, like what you're saying. And, when you talk about my students, that's like what Randy would say when he was on the road touring with Ozzy, that he would stop and take lessons where he would end up teaching the teacher.
well, you learn.
But he learned
Yes,
something.
you learn from that. I mean, it's such a and if you don't, I mean, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. That's just my opinion.
Right.
But my inspirations, I'll even go locally, would be my guitar teacher, Dean, Dick
Dean.
Wisner, Dean Watts, Dick Wisner, who ran with his wife Ollie Mendoza's.
Mm-hmm.
Huge inspirations. In fact, I got a good story of that if you'd like to hear.
Absolutely.
Probably 13 by this time, and Dick Wisner says, "Hey, I want you to hear this Julian Bream album." Julian Bream's a classical player. So we're in there, and I'm like, "Do you think you could record this for me?" He read me the Riot Act because, that's basically stealing from the artist. Back then, I had no idea. Here I am, a 13-year-old kid, but
Right.
it really, I got to tell him that story many years later when he was in a nursing home, but he didn't remember. But that's okay. It always stuck with me.
That's cool, man. So then after you got that opportunity with Michael, playing with him, I know there's some other really well-known guitar players that you got to at least meet and talk to.
So 2013, my friend Cindy got tickets and bought me one. God bless you, Cindy. I love you. To have the Evo experience with Steve Vai and his band, which means he comes and sits with you like we are,
Right.
talks to you, you can ask questions. You get to see the sound check and take pictures, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'd already met him before. Here's a funny story if you'd like to hear.
Yeah.
So about 2003 or 5, I don't remember what year, I waited outside with my friend Jessica in the cold rain while they were sound checking in Chicago for the G3 tour. Excuse me. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Yngwie.
Wow.
Yngwie gets there and gets into a Pinto, that's a broken down Pinto with somebody, and takes off. So I never did get to meet him. Sit out there in the cold for more than 2-3 hours. Finally, Vi comes out after sound check. I'll backtrack. I'm standing by the door listening to them. It's open on the side there. The road manager, who's English, comes out just screaming at me to get away from the door, and it's because of me that, they can't, whatever. A homeless woman coming up starts chewing him out. You don't talk to somebody like that. Anyway, he made me feel like this tall. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyways, so after a couple hours, Vi comes out. While I'm just about ready to get my picture and talk to him, a young kid and his mom show up. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, they're a priority. And I'm like, I'm that little kid, I'm that little kid. At that point, I've got 30 years of my love for you, anyway.
Been watching you since Crossroads.
Yeah, well, it's true. Actually, yeah. And yeah, you got it flexible. So I was kind of upset by it, but then he was cool, and I talked to him, got my picture with him, and then same with Satriani, and life went on. Fast forward to 2013, when I got to talk to him. On the way there, I had no inkling of anything that I was going to say to him. I really didn't. I mean, what am I going to ask him that anybody's going to, hasn't already asked him?
Right.
So we get there, and there's, I think, 6 of us. Don't quote me on that. It wasn't very many. It's 5 or 6. And he's literally sitting right there. Mm-hmm. It's me, Cindy, and 4 other people. I just can't shut up. So I'm asking him all this, and he's being gracious, though. And I even tell him that story.
Yeah.
And I said, I was hurt. I was there, just like I told you. I said, he goes, look, if Joe, that's what it was. He had told that little kid, you like Joe Satriani? I'll take you to meet him. And I was like, so I tell him the story, right? And he laughs and he looks and he goes, look, if Joe was here right now, I'd take you to meet him. It was pretty funny. All right. So while I could sit here for the whole time we're here and tell you the inspiration of what that guy said to us in that hour
Right.
is like amazing, but I won't do that. But I will say, when it was all said and done and he walked away, Cindy looks at me and she can attest to this. She goes, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, you made him look like a dick, if I may say it. I'm like, come on. And then she goes, and you pissed all the other people off. You wouldn't shut up. I'm like, I didn't mean to. It's just, I'm never going to have this opportunity again anyway. It's a pretty funny story, and she knows it's verbatim what happened, but it's really cool. I was so blessed to have that. But he was very inspirational, had his guitar in hand, but didn't play a lick. It was all about him, a spiritual type thing, and how he looked at things. And it was very eye-opening. And again, I could go on about this, but that was probably the greatest hour of my musical.
Well, he's like a guitar guru.
Well, he is.
I mean,
he's just in all ways, he's one of them. He's just one of them guys. And, I've always respected him. He's, like you said, since Crossroads, actually before Crossroads for me. So, yeah.
For me, it was Crossroads.
Because Crossroads didn't come out till 86. I already had Flexible by then. That was 84.
Wow.
So anyway, and then Flexible leftovers, but that's whatever.
When he did that Jack Butler deal,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, man.
That was too cool. But, and then with Frank Zappa too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
sure.
and that goes to your style of playing though. Now we're looking at like Dark Trilogy and in ways of what I'm saying, being instrumental bands and stuff. I can definitely see the influences. Who else would you say?
Well, I got to say this too. On the first Forever Gypsy album, there's 2 instrumentals.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was already doing it. In fact, I lifted a little harmonic lick from Satriani, from Hordes of Locusts, in fact, off his Not of This Earth, debut, on one of our songs called AF69. It goes, do, 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 do. Anyway. So,
and a lot of people, there's a lot of instrumentals on a lot of bands have them.
Sure.
Like Metallica with Orion, which is one of my favorite Metallica songs.
Sure. No, that's just something I've always loved, But to your point, Yngwie, Eddie Van Halen, Jimmy Page, Joe Perry, Robin Trower, Hendrix, these are, and
of course,
we've already talked about Randy, but he can never be talked enough about. And Randy, these are all my primary rock influences.
And in '95, I was in Fort Wayne and got to see Robin Trower up close and personal at Pierre's.
I've seen him probably 10 times.
And this was my first time getting to see him. And when I seen him play, he did Bridge of Sighs in its entirety.
Sure.
And that was just like, it was like going to church, man. I mean, it was like, wow.
From the time I was 15, I was fortunate to see him in many places, Chicago and 15. But one time at Center Street there in Mishawaka when he came, I was literally right here. His pedals were right there. Anyway, and then City Limits, I saw him just a lot of places, But yeah, no, I'm fortunate to have seen him many a times. I always loved him. In fact, when my brother was almost gone, he passed away a few years ago. He said, I always wish you'd be more like, when you played, you'd be more like Rory Gallagher, Robin Trower, and this and that, what you liked. He goes, but you like the heavier stuff. He goes, and you did it, and look at you, He was proud of me, and it was,
of course.
But that he said that it was I knew what he meant. So I usually do, if I do covers anymore. Mm-hmm. I didn't do it the day you were there, but I usually do Bridge of Sighs and dedicate it to my brother.
Oh, I wish you would have known. You know what? I love that song. Love singing it.
Well, we should have done it.
We will do it.
Yeah, we will do it. I'll have it. Yeah.
What Joe is talking about is that just recently he had Joe and friends at the Phoenix in Mishawaka for his birthday, and that was what I was talking about with Julie James on the last interview about when you go somewhere and you see a show that is so good that you're sitting there going, This is better than going to your local touring concert. You know, that night it was on fire. The musicians, everybody was just playing on point that night.
Well, the funny thing about that is that's a normalcy. We, like when I do my Feingold and Friends, nobody's practiced. I mean, we all individually play and we're good
Right.
enough to do that. But I might call you, are you going to be able to show up? Maybe you couldn't show up or this, that. We all can just, that's what we do. It's pretty normal.
Right.
So, I mean, and hopefully it turns out good. It's not rehearsed at all. So.
And I remember doing that with a group called Tear It Up that was out of Chicago. A guy named James Latimer and Dave Latimer and Swell on bass. And plus there was some other guys too, and I can't remember them right now, but it was the same deal. They told me, you want to do this song, do that song, and then just meet us there. And then you'd think we've been playing together for a long time. It's that one big word, homework.
You got it. Preparation.
Yeah.
Like even me for some of the things we're going to do, I had to go back and remember things or maybe play them, listen to them or stuff. But you can do that at home. You don't have to, does everything come out perfect? Not always. But,
No.
Because as far as the covers anymore, I'm to the point where I kind of try to let them go out of my head anymore. I don't want to focus on them anymore. I always, I'm happy just doing the original stuff, but it's fun to do that occasionally.
Right.
I do have fun doing that.
But it's that creative side, letting that creative side flow with your
Sure.
originals.
And I have nothing against that. Hell, I did it for many years and mostly out of default because I had to. Not because I wanted to, but, you get stale. And then at our age, I don't know about you, but, Tony would be like, man, we better record the radio and see which songs we could pick. And then we'd come back and look at each other. Man, I don't like any of this stuff. I know. And, Clint, my bass player, Dark Trilogy, he gets on me, he goes, you don't like anything after 83, right? Well, he's not necessarily wrong. I think in the sense that most of the things that I do like, I think the best stuff was then, some after that, obviously. But, yeah, a lot of the bands that I really dug, I think changed once the MTV thing really took got a whole, that's another whole subject that I won't get into. But
One of the bands you mentioned that did come out later on that you like and inspired by was King's X.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes me back to when I was living in Minneapolis many years ago, and they were there. And I was 19 years old, and they were playing at a 21 and over place, and they were like right there, and I couldn't even go see them, And so the people I was staying with, they ended up going to see them that night, and they brought the house down, of course. And
yeah, I love King's X. They are,
me too.
And I was fortunate to be able to back them up. So finally, after all these years.
Really?
Yeah.
So you did get to play with them?
Yeah, I sure did. We Battle Creek.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Thanks to my dear friend who owns it.
Now, is that what's the name of that place right there?
It's called
Is it the Music Factory?
it is the Music Factory.
That has got one of the coolest stages.
Jeff Harris, my dear friend. Love him to death.
Very cool.
For years I bug him. I'm like, you gotta get him, and finally he did, and of course we got on it. So I'm so grateful for him, man.
Kim and I's youngest daughter, Jordan, saw her first concert there.
Nice.
She went there and got to see Filter and Local H and Given Six, and very cool stage. I love the stage at that place.
Yeah, very cool. We went there within a few months before he bought it. I think when it was called, I forgot what it was called before that.
Planet Rock. or
Yeah,
something?
I think it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
I remember going there. We all took a trip up there with him, and then he wound up getting it, and he's had it for quite a long time now.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
So, what would be another show that has stuck out in your mind? I don't care if it was a national act or a local act, but one that was just, this was a show I could never forget for you.
Well, the first time I got to play with Michael Angelo. I mean, that was really cool because I never expected I was going to get to, and then then I got to do it quite a few times afterwards. But that was pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing.
That was cool. So many over the years. I mean, when we backed up Ted Nugent back in, I don't know if it was 99 or 2000. That was a really fun show. That was early on, as far as that within 2 years of our first album.
And how did the crowd respond to you?
Very good. In fact, it was funny because back then we walk out there and, you had 100 people going, man, where are you guys from? It's like funny because we're from there,
Right.
But it was really something. I mean, it really felt good, but, we didn't know where we were headed at that point, and then I did share, I shared the story about what happened after that.
Yeah.
About the, where we had all these dreams that got pretty much dissolved.
Right.
I don't need to go into that.
No. Everybody has got, unfortunately, stories like that throughout the years if you've been in the music business long enough.
It looked like it might happen, though, man, and it was very disheartening when it didn't, but whatever.
And that's it. You put your heart and soul in this music, doing what you do. All the hours, and I mean hours of playing, whether you love it or by necessity, especially on cover songs when you're trying to learn all the cover tunes. And the reason for that is it's hard to find a place to play that will let you do just original music. They want cover music.
I will say this, one of the most depressing parts of it wasn't because, hey, we didn't go on and do something. Mm-hmm. It would have been the fact that we kind of just got into this rut of being a cover band. Right. Yeah, I'd throw in my originals because I always do that, and solo for 10 minutes, looking at the clock, whatever, right. But the truth of the matter is, I always wanted to play my own music, man. I always did from a kid. I got tapes of me just sitting around singing, playing, trying to do. That was my, if you want to if your aspiration is to be in a cover band, there's nothing wrong with that, but that wasn't mine. and we got kind of stuck into doing that.
Right.
And then we wrote some really good songs after the fact.
Who's another inspiration?
Ronnie James Dio.
Absolutely.
No, he's huge for me, man. Yeah, he's just huge throughout my, even from Rainbow. I had the Elf stuff, but I'm going to go from Rainbow on. He just, I love him.
Now, have you heard Seeds of Change?
I do not think so. I don't.
Now this will throw you for a loop. Ronnie James Dio singing gospel.
Huh.
I have it on vinyl.
That
It was
wouldn't-
Carrie Livgreen put it out.
Oh, sure. No. And
Yeah.
he did a couple songs.
Yeah,
with
he did a
Carrie.
couple songs with Carrie Livgreen on that one.
Of course I have. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's
Yeah.
not one that most people have ever heard of.
I do. I'm well aware that I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was pretty wild listening to Dio singing gospel. I was like, wait a second. What
Yeah, no,
what
he's
is this?
No, but that's who that's
He was an amazing singer.
man.
It just shows what all he could do.
exactly.
Rainbow stuff was
He's also a bass player.
really
Yeah, he played bass.
that's pretty. Was that early? Because he was around for a long time.
Yeah, and didn't he play was it tuba or he played something else too that was like a horn instrument.
Like a studio
That's
musician.
probably where his he got his
Yeah.
vibrato maybe or just yeah.
I don't know.
He's amazing. Yeah,
The Man on the Silver Mountain.
glad I got to see him in this close too. That little short guy, man,
Well, that's the thing. If you didn't see him in person,
he was great. He was great. I seen him.
I did. I got to see him with Black Sabbath.
I did too. I saw him 3 times. I saw Black Sabbath twice, and I saw him by himself.
I got to see him on the Dehumanizer tour.
I
Only
did.
one time.
I did too. Aragon.
I see him at the Holiday Star.
I did too. I was at that one. That's
Oh,
what I was
very
saying.
cool.
I was that close because he was right there. That's the Holiday Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw both those. Yeah.
I miss that place. There was so many good concerts there.
That's where I saw Aerosmith, like I was telling you earlier, in '85. That January 11th, '85.
Now, see, my Aerosmith experience, I seen them at Tinley Park.
I have to.
And it was Run DMC, Kid Rock, and Aerosmith.
So you saw him later on. Then.
I see him. This was '02.
Okay.
And when I seen him, I had grass seats, and there was like this, almost looked like a boxing ring over by us where we were at in the field right there. And no one knew it was. They had a bunch of tarps and stuff over there. Well, after Aerosmith took the stage, they opened up with Toys in the Attic, which was awesome. And they killed it. It was like halfway through the show, it was like the power went out.
Really? Wow.
And the whole place went totally dark, and it was like, what is going on? And it was like this for a little bit. And then we seen these people going by us with this light. And then I'm looking, I'm like, wait a second. They go up on the stage, and they start playing again from right there in the green.
Nice.
That was cool.
So it was made to do that.
It was made to do that.
That's very cool.
And I mean, and they bust out 10-inch record up there playing. It was
That's killer. I've seen him 17 times.
17 times. I've never seen
And-
them play that much.
And I've seen Guns N' Roses back them up. I've seen the Black Crowes on their first tour back them up. I've seen Ted Nugent with them. I've seen Skid Row with them. I've seen Dokken with them. I've seen them, a lot of times.
Wow. Now, what was the weirdest lineup you've seen?
I don't know about anything weird. One of my favorite shows was Judas Priest, Alice Cooper, and it was supposed to be Motorhead, but it wasn't. It was that brings me back to it was Dangerous Toys, I think. But I did see Dio, Motorhead, and Scorpions.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild right there.
that was pretty cool.
Now, a miss up, like when at Tinley Park there, I seen Alice in Chains as a new act. No one knew who they were, opening up for Slayer.
Wow.
And I was like, they got booed off the stage. And I was like, this band is actually really good. Just whoever put this together didn't see this through or think it through, because it was, definitely a mismatch of bands.
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever got to see any of those odd stories, kind of like you hear about, Jimi Hendrix with the Monkees.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think most everything's been legit, like, what you would expect. I don't think I have any weird,
So you've been playing all these years now, and you got Dark Trilogy still going on, and you're
Yeah.
recording with them.
Yes.
Is there anything that you haven't accomplished yet that you still want to accomplish or want to do?
Well, I haven't accomplished living in my full potential. I was trying to make a joke.
I mean, you've done a lot. You've opened up. You've played with a lot of people.
You know, in this day and age, that I'm able to still play and
Right.
do and enjoy playing and making music, even if 5 people like it. You know, times have changed. I have no preconceived delusions that, you know, of anything anymore when it comes to music. I like to be an inspiration, especially because I teach people. However, that being said, I certainly can't always see the bright side of where music has come. I do know that on a technical level, we've, guitar playing wise, have come leaps and bounds. Like to the point of like
Mateo.
Yes, yeah, no, it's incredible. It's yeah, just incredible stuff. However, you know, it doesn't necessarily constitute moving somebody. So I don't know. Do I see much of that? Not much. I like to go back to what I love, you know, and I'm just a creature of habit, so whatever. But I love to play and I love to interact with people, such as yourself. And we talked about Julie earlier.
Right.
And love Julie.
Absolutely.
I think Eric's an excellent player, man.
He's a monster.
See, and I'd never known them. I'd never known them until, a couple of years ago or whatever when I first saw them, you know. And, you know, I'm that guy that I'll look at, you know, I went up to him probably when I didn't even know him well at all. And I said, you know, I don't really like the music you're playing, but I tell you, man, yours are really good, you know. Because it doesn't matter to me because you're up there, you're doing great at what you're playing.
Absolutely.
You know, but anyway, yeah, I think the world of those two. For sure.
And you don't have to like that style of music to still be able to respect the talent.
Oh, sure, and they do stuff that I do like.
Oh,
I'm just
we're
saying,
in the same boat.
I'm
on
just
that,
saying,
too.
I'm just saying, on a whole, would I ever listen to most of that? No, but that's okay. A lot of the bands, every band I see that I see that are doing covers, I wouldn't listen to most of that, but whatever.
Right.
You know, they're not going to listen to they're not going to care about a 10-minute guitar solo instrumental song. I get it. You know, it's just the way things are. I'm okay with that, though. You know.
Well, you are a musician's musician, is how I would put it. You know, and that's what we're talking about with Eric too. He's another one of those musicians. Get it? And
Great player, man.
just seeing them play, like my buddy Tim Perry and Al Pearson and all these other people that I've known throughout the years that I've enjoyed playing with and listening to. We just lost recently, one of my friends, Tim Cohen's, passed away. And when I was at his funeral, it was like going back in time of all the musicians that I was running into there. And then you see, oh, this guy, man, there's Mike Esper and Mike Tamber. And these guys, now I'm name dropping, but these are local guys that have inspired several people, including myself, you know, and that's what it's about. You don't have to have your name on an album and been touring the world to have inspired people.
Absolutely.
You know,
I just because if I started naming one and I didn't name other people, that's why I haven't done that. Like locally,
Right.
You know, I mentioned Eric because these are people I just met in recent years, but there are very inspirational people that I grew up with that I, you know. But again, if I say one and I don't mention somebody else, it'll be like, and I'm not going to do that. However,
right.
I do want to bring up one thing because it is something that's coming up. We're having a celebration of life for somebody that was real dear to me. His name's Steve Calagrassi. I met Steve at a Guitar Center guitar contest, and we were both in it. And this is 20 years ago or whatever. And I wound up winning it. Then you do it again, and I won that one. However, the first time I looked at him and I said to him, if I was voting, I would have probably gave it to you. Totally different style of what I was doing, but anyway, I just thought he did good that time. But I wound up, you know, going farther and going to Chicago or whatever. But he passed away this last year, and so we're going to have a proper celebration of life for him. Mm-hmm. His Elaine, which is somebody dear to him, and another brother named Tony Sinelli. We're throwing this little celebration on Sunday, May 3rd, from like 1 to 5 in Elkhart, Indiana, at the Wellfield Botanical Gardens. And yeah, it should be pretty cool. He deserves it. This is all for him because he was such a great player, but man, even a better human being.
That's what I've gotten from it. I remember when this all happened and stuff. And,
So, but in Elaine, which is somebody that he grew up with, she's put a lot into this. So I hope that anybody that hears this or sees this will, come, that loves Steve, will come and support that. Because it's just a celebration, nothing else. It doesn't cost a thing. It's, you get into the gardens for free too, which is a pretty penny just to see that stuff. It's like 15 a person normally, but
Right.
if you come to this, so I mean, there's such beautiful things, and Steve deserved it. So anyway, I just want to throw that out because I do have that coming up.
very cool. And you're performing?
I'm gonna kind of. Okay, so from 3 to 5 is kind of my deal, where I'll either have people play. I'll play a little bit, or they can come and just say some words if they want to share a memory, anything like that. I mean,
Is there a flyer for the event?
there is. Yeah, I do. I have it. I have it posted everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I could send that to you. But yeah, but that's May 3rd, and I'm gonna put out a video of my own where I kind of talk about this. But
Oh man, I'm out of town May 3rd. Unfortunately, otherwise I would come. And
I get it.
support
I get
this.
it. I totally get it.
Yeah, but God bless you for remembering him like
Thank
this.
you. Yeah, no, he was amazing, man. One of the best people I was ever had the pleasure of knowing, and meant a lot to me, as well as a lot of other people. So.
And once again, part of having the gig stories and telling all this is remembering the people that make these memories and to go about what we do.
Absolutely.
So you have right now you're working with your recording.
Yep.
And we'll definitely be looking forward to hearing that. And I appreciate you coming out here today and hanging out with us and
Thank you, my brother.
sharing some stories with us, man.
It means the world to me. Thank you for asking me.
Absolutely, man.